What's happening, people, and welcome to a brand new football podcast hosted by myself and Man Like Banks Reactions. We're in the building. My name is KXVU, aka CubCamTV. We are live on Trickstar Radio and, of course, CubCamTV on YouTube as well, bringing you a very exciting new podcast selection. We're talking football. This is BallerTalk, and as I said, we are joined by Banks. How are you doing, sir?
I'm all right, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good, sir. I'm good. We've been planning this one for a hot minute. We've been trying to get sort of technicals all sorted and getting ready to actually record, which I'm very excited to do. But we are in the building, and we've got a very exciting show on the way. Now, obviously, I'm assuming people tuning into this, they're going to be kind of watching us or listening to us going, what do these two know about football? Like, what on earth are they doing a football podcast? Do you want to give me your kind of football background before we actually get into it?
Yeah, myself, earlier when we talked, I said, I don't like saying I'm a failed footballer because I'm a football coach, but I wanted to be a footballer so bad. And to the people listening to this that know me, know that yes, I'm a good footballer. Now I don't want to sound, I don't want to sound arrogant, but I'm all right. Then I will leave you as all right.
You have to be half decent to be. You at least have to understand the game to be a competent.
Yeah. That's so true. That's so true. So yeah, man, football is my love, man. Football, then music.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was very much that as a scenario for me. I kind of had two choices when I was about, I think, 12, 13. It was either do music or stick with football.
I know.
And I chose the one that involved partying, essentially. Otherwise, I would have been playing. But yeah, no, I was playing from quite a young age. I've always played. Have been on a few football channels as well over the years. And just thought it'll be a good opportunity. We did used to run a podcast on the breakfast show called Between the Posts, which was a weekly kind of football chat that we did on there as well. But yeah, I'm very excited to dive into this. We've got a number of different topics we've kind of put together and discussed and got very much ready. And we're going to dive into a lot of different things today. So the general running order of things we're going to be discussing, and I think we're going to do this like once a month or so, depending on how much happens in football, I think, and obviously whether you guys enjoy it on the channels. But we're going to be talking today about a number of different things. First of all, is Serie A the new second most exciting league in Europe? Now, this is something I feel very kind of passionately about. I love Italian football. I love a lot of the Italian teams. And we'll be diving into that. Alongside this, we're going to be looking at dark horses for the World Cup, teams that we think might be on the up, that may not be in the kind of ratings just yet. We're going to be looking at Dash or Keep, doing this starting off with MUFC. Obviously, Manchester United, we're both United fans, so this is going to be very interesting and very depressing, realistically, as we go through. Players we think could make big moves in the summer, and we're also going to be looking at, is there too big of a gap between the Championship and the Premier League? So we'll start in and around the Premier League with this first topic. Obviously, is there too big of a gap between the Championship and the Premier League? Looking through this, it's a topic that's been discussed quite heavily on the day of recording. I've seen a lot of stuff today about parachute payments and stuff like that going on between the Championship and the Premier League. But are we in a position now as a kind of football institution in the Premier League where the quality level is now just too high for teams to actually regularly maintain positions? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts they've always been the same, to be honest. I mean, Claire Case, Norwich, and even Brentford, they're struggling in the second half of the season. That goes to show that there's such the girth, the gap is crazy. And for some reason, I don't think the parachute payment is helping teams because people are panic buying. I mean, come on, they just panic buying and just buying any player that is a hype on and let's be real. If you're a team coming up to the Premier League and you're trying to buy a player from, let's say, the German league or from the Serie A, I know you've got the money, so I'll extort you. You know what I mean? So teams are just panic buying. They really want to stay in the Premier League because it's the mecca of football. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like the Premier League and all the other leagues in Europe. So my thoughts have always been the same, to be fair. It's just a crazy gap. I mean, teams are struggling to stay in. So
I mean, when we look at the bottom three currently, you've got Norwich, Burnley and Watford. Burnley, not traditionally a yo-yo team. They've been in the Premier League consistently since they came up. But Norwich and Watford, very traditional yo-yo teams. Always going in between the two leagues. Have been going between the two leagues as long as the Premier League's been active, especially Watford. They've been the definition of a yo-yo team the entire time.
The owners are comfortable with it. So,
and again, if it very much depends on the ambitions of the owners. I think the interesting scenario here is we saw Newcastle go down quite recently. They're now obviously back in the Prem and have been for a few years. They're now kind of monetarily propped up. We saw the same with Aston Villa. We saw the same with West Ham a few years ago. They were in the Championship a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I think the interesting thing about this is when you look at the kind of teams that have come up and actually stayed in the Premier League and made an impact, you're looking at 5, realistically, over the last sort of, say, 10 years. Teams that have kind of come up and influenced the Premier League. You're looking at Wolves, being one who have come up, and obviously they're in 8th now. They've been a kind of traditional top 12 team since they've been back. Palace have either been they've always been in and around that sort of mid-table, but usually just about comfortable. And Vieira's doing a fantastic job there as well. Leicester City, of course, came up, and then the second year in the most bizarre scenario we've ever seen in English football, in my honest opinion. They went on to win it, but now they're sort of falling back into mid-table sort of scenarios. And I'd argue kind of Leeds are in that bracket as well, purely because of the style of football they play. But the interesting thing here is, will Leeds survive another season? I don't know. It doesn't. It looks like their sort of philosophy's gone in the water.
Yeah, I think because of the philosophy they came into the Premier League with, people were excited, and I feel like they've lost that now because of Bielsa has been fired, obviously. So now they're going with an American that has he's got the traditional American football way of coaching, which is team talk, mind games. It starts here. If you listen to him talk, everything, like he said multiple times, football starts here. Do you know what I mean? While Bielsa was different. Bielsa was more like bish, bash, bosh, let's go, gang, press, attacking, counter-attack, and just be on the go. So it's a for me, I think if they don't go down this season, which at the moment it looks like it's going to be a tough run-ins at the end of let's say end of April, you would see the teams sort of just settle down. Everyone is going to pick the positions, I feel like. And I feel like if they survive this season, next season they'll be okay. Because personally, I've always said, even to the kids I coach, football starts here. I believe that 100%. So with the way they're playing now, you already know the syndrome, new manager syndrome. When he comes in, you fire on, you do well for the next 10 games, and after the 10 games count, it sort of peters away. Do you know what I'm saying? So
it looks like more than anything that's petering away moderately early, because the last 5 games, they've drawn at 1-1, lost. So they are the definition of a 50-50 whether they win or lose.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So I just hope if they stay on this season, then next season I feel like his philosophy, his tactical prowess will go into play. Because at the moment right now he's just, guys, let's stay on, let's just survive this the relegation fight. So that's what it looks like, to be fair. So
it's an interesting one, man. I mean, the kind of bizarre scenario we are seeing this season is obviously Everton being very close to that bottom. They're such a traditional top half team. They always have been. I believe the longest standing Premier League team in history, it's them or Arsenal, I think, are the 2 teams that have always been in the Premier League.
Yes, Arsenal and Everton.
The top flight of English.
Top flight football.
They're the only ones that haven't ever been relegated, or never been, or the longest standing, or whatever it is. But it does look like Everton could be in trouble here. Obviously, the teams below them are all, I feel, significantly worse. Everton, by the looks of things, have got a couple of games in hand on Watford, looking at the table, and they are 3 points ahead. They've got they're 4 points ahead of Burnley, who have got a couple of games in hand on the teams either side of them. But again, it's bizarre with Everton. I want to quickly talk about this because their squad should not be in a relegation battle. I don't understand how it's happened.
Honestly, should not even. I mean, we shouldn't even be saying Everton, because a lot of football guys we always banter. There's something called the Everton Cup. You know what I mean? So they're always in 7th or 6th. Yeah. So every year you're like, who's gonna win the Everton Cup? You know what I mean? But this season it's just like they've just made the biggest mistake. I mean, in terms of the way the buying of players. The recruitment process has just been wrong.
It was a very bizarre January as well. One of the most bizarre Januaries.
Yeah, why would you employ Frank Lampard? No disrespect to him, but I mean, really?
I don't understand it with Frank Lampard, because as far as I'm concerned, he's got a worse resume than Ollie.
Exactly.
And Ollie was ridiculed, realistically. And that's not a United bias. There was clearly a very solid agenda against him.
If you have a sinking ship, who would you employ as a manager right now? Be honest. I have one guy in mind.
It's Big Sam. That's who you go to. You go to Big Sam. You go to Big Sam because he has the best record of keeping teams up. To be honest, I wouldn't have even been surprised to see Steve Bruce take the job, because he keeps teams up most of the time. That would have been a much more suitable appointment, in my honesty.
Yeah, because
Although I don't know whether that had happened before he'd been sacked by Newcastle. I don't know. I can't remember the timings off the top of my head. However, that would have made more sense than going for Frank Lampard.
Got relegated with Steve Bruce has not. Wait,
I think he's been relegated once or twice, but he's got a very good record.
He's got a good record though.
He's got a good record of being in that sort of scenario. And at the moment, that's what they need. They need they need someone to barricade the doors. They don't need like a project manager. They need like an experienced guy who's going to keep them in that sort of scenario. And it's very interesting looking at Newcastle as well, because Newcastle were for a while looking like they were in that sort of scenario. They look pretty safe now. 30 games played, 31 points accumulated. They're currently sat, I think, 8 points above the 9 points, above the relegation zone, having played the same as Watford. So I don't think any team's going to make up 9 points.
Newcastle is pretty much. I don't want to say pretty much safe, because we already know the cutting off point is 40. Once you hit the 40 mark, you're safe. You're in the Premier League. So they just need to win 3 more games, and I feel like then the safety is guaranteed. Because to be fair, I really rate Eddie Howe. I mean, I've always rated Eddie Howe, and I feel like given a proper team, he would do well. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he will be able to manage a team like Man United, because Man United is not a team at the moment. It's a business, so it's difficult. You know what I mean? So we don't know how good he is as a businessman, because Sir Alex Ferguson was an amazing businessman. I mean, I don't know how he did both. I don't know how he was a manager and a businessman at the same time. That's crazy. Arsene Wenger as well was an amazing manager and a businessman too. So those two, I can see why they went head to head for years, because they just had the same mentality, same drive. They had the same ways of thinking around random players, because come on, let's be honest, we had the worst team in 2013 and we still won the Premier League. I mean, come on. So that goes to show. But going back to what you said about with Everton, I feel like Newcastle, I just feel like this season they might just stay up, because Eddie Howe is actually buying players that he's worked with previously, and it's working. I
genuinely think they made quite smart investments. You look at Trippier. I think that's a great player to bring in that scenario. Very, very decorated, very experienced. Has played at lots of different levels.
What a technician as well.
Brilliant. They brought in Guilmares, I think his name is as well, who looks pretty good. And I think Chris Wood's a great signing for them. I honestly do. For the sort of striker he is, I think that's what you need.
I think he works well with what's his name, the striker. What's his name? The number 9. Callum Wilson. It does.
If Wilson wasn't injury prone, I do genuinely think he will be at a top 6 team. I rate Wilson so high. Top
poacher is such a good advanced forward. He's such an amazing player.
I do want to quickly talk about another team in this kind of listing at the moment, which is Brighton. Obviously, that's where I'm based, down here on the south coast. So I'm not a Brighton fan. I'm a United fan first and foremost, but I do like to see what Brighton are doing. It's a bizarre situation for them at the moment, because they have drawn, lost
games,
and it's bizarre because they're not playing bad football. It's that they still don't have a centre forward, and I've been saying this for many years about Brighton. They are a centre forward away from unlocking that sort of top half sort of scenario.
I mean, it's amazing how a team can play such beautiful football and end up losing or drawing.
Every single time.
Ridiculous
it's bizarre. Like, obviously, I'm down here, so I speak to a lot of Brighton fans, and all of them say, like, we don't really want to go to games at the moment because we know what's going to happen. We know the scenario we're going to play, and then just get either hit on the break or we're just going to concede something stupid. But you look around the team they're now establishing. You look at, like, obviously Lamptey, Dunk. You look at I can't remember the name of the Brighton keeper, but he's solid.
Sanchez.
You then have in the midfield, obviously you've got Trossard. You've got Basuma. You've got who's a wicked player. You've then got Lallana floating around. He's obviously a bit past his time.
McAllister.
I think he's in the Argentinian squad as well. So you've got international players here. You've got international players that are doing, like Trossard starts for Belgium sometimes. So he's in that sort of conversation.
Trossard is a brilliant attacking midfielder. Brilliant, and he plays different positions. He's such a versatile player. Brilliant.
But then you look at the two attacking options they have, which are the two you've got. Welbeck has never been a prolific goal scorer. He's a good attacking option. He's a nuisance and he causes problems, but he's not a prolific goal scorer. You've got Mopé, again, a nuisance, but not a prolific goal scorer. These are players that should be in partnerships, not.
Well, he was prolific for Brentford, to be fair. I'm not going to lie. I can understand why Brighton bought him a couple of years ago, because he's a good finisher. I just feel like it's not working. The possession football doesn't suit Mopé. Mopé is more of a direct sort of football. So over the defender, he runs onto the ball, finishes. That's Mopé for you. Mopé he hasn't got good percentages on the ball in terms of passing the ball. He's not a good passer of the ball. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and all the good passes on the team are actually they haven't got legs that much in terms of Lallana and what's his name? What's the other guy in the midfield? That plays beside Bissouma. I can't remember his name, but they haven't got legs. You know what I mean? So, and it's difficult to have players that they haven't got legs, but they've got the mind to pass the ball. Like having like an Ozil in a team, it's like, you're gonna have the lethargic movement, but you know you're gonna get a good pass. Brighton haven't got that, and Mopé is not the guy they should have up front for them, honestly.
Well, they've got an interesting scenario. They have got a really interesting scenario because they have officially signed Undav, who is one of the top scorers in Europe this season. They basically lent him because the guy who owns the club also owns the club that he plays for.
Of course.
So it does look like they have a potentially very, very good undiscovered striker coming in from the Belgian league, which, to be honest, Belgian league players tend to translate quite well to the Premier League. They tend to pick it up and move quite nicely. And I know purely because my cousin was in one of the Belgium academies that the academies in Belgium are outrageous. Like you are training 4 or 5 days a week from the age of like 11, 12. Like you are very much indoctrinated into football. But it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, they're going to stay up. I think I'm pretty sure they're safe in the way it's going.
Yeah, Brighton would stay up. Graham Potter is a very good manager. I mean. Man, I've been following him from when he was managing the Swedish team. I can't pronounce the name, so I'm not going to try to butcher the name anyway.
And he took them from the third division up to winning the top league or whatever it was. Like incredible.
Yeah. His possession was amazing, crazy. On average, it was like 60%. Beautiful football, moving, flowing, everything was good. Came to Swansea, did the same thing, and I was like, wow, this guy should be poached by a big team. But as you already know, everyone wants to go for the blockbuster manager because I feel like if a team like Manchester United or even a team like Arsenal before Arteta took over took a chance on Graham Potter, people will be like, wow, he's an amazing manager and all of that stuff. Because look at what happened to Mourinho with Porto. You know what I mean? Took them in 2004, won the Champions League, and Chelsea thought, you know what, before he gets poached, let's go for him, and it worked for them for at least 4 years. So I feel like Brighton will come good.
I think he'll end up at top 14.
Graham has to leave. He has to leave because I'm sorry, man, you can't have that. No, you can't be that good of a manager and manage a mediocre team and make you look stupid or make you look bad. I mean, no, it's not fair. It's really not fair.
I would agree. I think the thing with Brighton is they're in a position now that Southampton were, I think, maybe 6 or 7 years ago. That Southampton team that had Lallana, Lambert, Shaw, Schneiderlin, and a few other players as well. There was like this group of like 8 players that all ended up leaving. Nathaniel Klein as well was in that
Nathaniel Klein,
and there were a few. A load of players ended up leaving that team, but I feel Brighton are now in that position where they've got this sort of group of, they've got a collection of like very usable, very kind of usable players that are all from sort of different areas. I'm surprised Dunk hasn't been snatched up by a bigger team, to be honest with you. I think Dunk's...
I know why he hasn't been snatched up. I know why. Because Dunk is he's good in the air. I mean, his aerial ability is unbelievable. That's one. He's a decent defender. He's not that great, but he hasn't got the pace. Okay. And the Premier League love pace. Everything has to do with, and that's how the league is anyway. So for me personally, I feel like Dunk would do good in a team like, let's say, in a Liverpool team. I'm not saying he would fit into the squad, but what I'm trying to say is he would work well with Van Dijk because Van Dijk has got the pace. You know what I mean? So Dunk would be the player to sit back, more like a sweeper defender, to stay back and clear whatever comes his way, because Van Dijk will go off and do the dirty job, just like Rio Ferdinand did in Manchester United with Vidic, where Vidic hasn't got the pace, but his reading of the game was amazing. So he would let Ferdinand do go up front and do all of that. So I feel like I can see why teams are not sort of overlooking Dunk. I understand why.
It's an interesting one, man. It is an interesting one. But we'll move on to another topic that we want to kind of talk about. We've sort of touched on players that we expect to make big moves. One for me is Bissouma. I think Bissouma is likely to leave in the summer. Are there any players that kind of stick out to you as players that are likely to move on to newer greener pastures, shall we say?
In the Premier League.
Just any players that we think are going to move up that are currently in the Premier League, like move up a team.
Move up. What's his name? That plays for what's the name of this? Burnley. On the left wing.
What, Cornet?
No. Do you have a McNeil?
Okay.
McNeil. I think McNeil would move up. He's such a good. Again, Burnley's doing a disservice to him. Honestly, sometimes if you just watch Burnley, have a player watch and watch how McNeil plays. It doesn't. Nah, he shouldn't be on that team. He should not. He's too good to be on Burnley. No disrespect to Burnley, but he shouldn't be. I mean, he would suit a team like Everton. Honestly. I mean, he's got.
There's only about 4 points between them at the moment.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing, because Everton is much a bigger club, and in terms of finances and everything. But right now, look at where they are. So, he would do a good job for Man United. Honestly, on the left, he would do an amazing, because he goes up and he's such a wing back. And he plays defensive, defensive wide midfield. Yeah. As he's a good midfielder. He plays. His work rate is amazing as well.
The interesting one for me at Burnley is Cornet, man. I think Cornet definitely should be moving up. I like Cornet. I think what I've seen from him, he just looks dangerous at all times. Like he's one of those players that you can just kind of put in. You know what? Similar to Traore. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if something's going to actually happen. Yeah. But there's going to be danger, and he's going to naturally draw players towards him.
I agree. But I've got a reservation about Kone. I know when he was playing in the Ligue 1, in the French, before he left his team and coming to the Premier League. Fair enough, but people need to ask. He plays well in a small team. Again, no disrespect to Burnley. I don't feel like he would do the same in a bigger team, because that's the thing. He's like the big fish in a small pond. I would say. Because
similar to Grealish, how Grealish was for years.
Oh, exactly. I mean, before, when I heard Man City were going to buy Grealish, I went, really? I love Grealish, but I don't think he suits the club. He doesn't suit Pep's tactics. No, doesn't. It suits more of like Arteta. The tactics Lampard is trying to play, Grealish would fit into that. So yeah. For me,
that was a very bizarre transfer, to be honest. I mean, what we'll do, we'll focus this little section here on teams in and around the bottom of the league rather than teams at the top, because I don't think it can be classed like moving from Palace to West Ham. I don't really class that as a massive jump. But I mean, players that are likely to leave.
Move
up directly. So looking at Norwich's squad, again, I'm not kind of blown away by Norwich's squad. I don't really know many players in that team that would naturally jump out at you. I don't know if there's any that would jump out at yourself.
The left, the inside forwards, the blonde hair guy. What's his name? He's having issues. He's not playing as much, but the first season back when they came up, he was really, really playing well. He was even linked to Liverpool this year. What's his name? I'm gonna get the squads up on my screen. Just so we can see what's going on. But I'm looking around. From what I remember, what I know of Norwich's squad, it isn't outstanding. I mean, Grant Hanley's had an okay season. He's probably Max Aarons maybe could be one that you can look at maybe moving up. Brandon Williams can stay exactly where he is. So they're attacking players. You've got Tzales, you've got Sargent, Rowe, Pookie, Idar, and Springett. What? Wait. They're missing a player. Attacking? You mean like up front or attacking midfielders?
That's the ones that are listed as forwards. You've got Gilmore in the middle, Melu, Norman, who's Norwegian, Rashika. You've got Kenny McLean, and Sorensen, Dowell, and Placheta as their midfielders, and then Lucas Rupp as well as a midfielder. Not really many names that stand out to me, to be honest. Again, the only one that really does is Gilmore's going back to Chelsea. He's likely to get into that first team. And Max Aarons, maybe. They're the only two that really stand out for me.
I'm trying to check out the team myself, because I'm thinking, wait, has he left the team, or did we just, I don't know, just left him out? I don't know. It's this guy's name, but let's carry on. I'll still find it. I'll find his name now.
Try and find it, and we'll head back to it. Alongside this, then we'll look at Watford. There's a few players in the Watford squad that you could imagine. The thing is, Watford have always had like like sparky players. Remember when they had like Delafeu and a few other players? Like they've always had like sparky players in and around that team. Obviously, Ismail Assar is one that stands out. Cucho Hernandez definitely stands out, and Emmanuel Dennis. All pretty much stand out as players you wouldn't expect to be seeing in the Championship next season. Going through this as well, it wouldn't surprise me to see Danny Rose stay in the Premier League either. I wouldn't surprise me to see him.
I agree with you. I do.
Pretty proven Premier League player.
Sorry to even interrupt. Todd Cantwell. That's it.
Right. Okay.
Todd Cantwell. Yeah, because
he's not listed on their.
Yeah, this is what it is. It's concerning for me because I've been following Todd Cantwell for a while. Because obviously my second team is QPR because I really wanted to play for them growing up. But anyway, that's another story for another day. So yeah,
he's on loan at Bournemouth.
But that's the thing. It's
Why
crazy.
Is he on loan at Bournemouth?
I don't know, because in January he was clearly the favorite player to move to Liverpool. I mean, and suddenly now he's on loan. So it's like, the hell? What's going on?
It's a very interesting one. Maybe people thought he was Conor Gallagher. Maybe that's what people thought.
Yeah,
maybe people thought it was the same player. They play a similar position to me.
That's fine.
They got the same head.
But it's a shame because that's one player that I thought to myself, he would do a good job for all. But again, I don't support Arsenal, but I keep looking at players that fit into teams and their philosophies, and I'm like, Todd Cantwell will do well for Liverpool, Arsenal, yes. I don't think he'll work well for a team like Manchester United or Man City or Chelsea, but Todd Cantwell is a player I think that really stands out for me. Pukki's gone down the ratings for me because I feel like
he's a Championship striker at best, man.
It's confirmed now.
When he came up, it was like, this guy has scored. He scored 6 goals in 32 games.
Yeah, he was just living off the buzz. Yeah, but after a while, he just pitted away, and that's what happens. Again, that's the gap between the Championship and the Premier League.
It does come back to it. Like you look, an example of this, Mitrovic, who has smashed.
Oh my God, I was just about to mention Mitrovic,
who has smashed that record set by Tony last year with about 8-9 games left to go. And yet he is. When he comes to the Premier League, he's pretty much non-existent. He does it on the international stage quite regularly, but when he comes into the Premier League, he's pretty much non-existent.
He maybe ends the season with 10 goals. Yeah, and that's about it. In the Championship, he's just eating people for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and
I've got a friend who I play football with who's a Fulham fan, and he's just like, he's ridiculous. But as soon as we get to the Premier League, it will disappear.
It becomes normal. Yeah, it's just one of those ones. He's more like Clark Kent. Like Superman, just
he has to wear the suit when he goes up a level.
Yeah, literally. That's literally what he does, man. Mitrovic is that guy, man. I do like him. I like him.
Well, we focused a fair bit on the Premier League, and I want to kind of move over to a different league just to make sure we are covering as many things as we are. We've still got to talk about the World Cup. As well, and we'll talk a little bit about Man United later on, which I'm sure we're both absolutely savouring. But I want to talk a little bit about Serie A because it's a very interesting scenario this year in Serie A. Looking across the table, across the top 5, put it this way, there's 13 points between 5th and 1st, which is a scenario you wouldn't see in the Premier League now, realistically, at this stage in the season. In 5th, you've got Roma. With Jose obviously getting the most out of Tammy Abraham, which we love to see. I love to see it. They're on 54 points. Juventus played 31, are on 59. Inter are on 30 games played on 63. Napoli are in second with 66, played 31, and Milan are in first, played 31, 67.
Crazy.
So that little fight between the top 3, if obviously Inter play their game in hand and win it, they're level with Napoli. So you've got potentially 3 teams.
That's what I love to see.
7 games to go. Within a point of each other. That's so exciting.
It's so exciting.
And I really don't like the fact that Serie A just kind of gets pushed to the side a lot of the time because the players that are playing here, bear in mind, Italy won the Euros. And near enough everyone in that team, bar 1 or 2, plays in Italy.
In Italy, that's the thing about it. You know what? That's the joke. And it goes back to something I've been saying for the longest. Some people that are gonna listen to this that know me would know that yes, Collins has been banging on about Serie A for the longest. Man, I've been the biggest fan. Like any game I get to play or like consoles or just assimilations, I always go for Serie A. Like that's why I just love the Italian league because of how they defend, how they play football is how football should be played, in my opinion. Right, in terms of like the mind games, how the way they sort the back out or the midfield. It's so, they make it look simple, but I know it's complicated for a lot of players and a lot of teams and a lot of leagues. I mean, amazing stuff, and I'm happy that people now are getting to see that. I get it. A lot of the players are going to leave at the end of the season because loads of contracts are going to be up in the Serie A this season. So they're going to move from the through the Bossman ruling law. So a lot of free agents are going to be. You're going to see a lot of free agents in the what's it called? We already seen they've moved already. Like what's his name that got signed to Barcelona in the Milan team? Kessie. That's it.
Yeah, which is a great move for Barcelona. I think that's what
yeah. And Dybala might move because I'll be honest with you, everyone can see that the league is not up to standard as it used to be in the 90s or in the late 2000s like it used to be. But now, yeah, it's just exciting, man. It's exciting to see.
I find it the most entertaining to watch. Like I try to watch the 5 majors, at least the highlights of each game, and it's exciting when you look around the sort of scenarios. Also, I've got a very quick quiz question for you surrounding Serie A, which a lot of people don't know the answer to. Who are the two joint leading the two players basically that hold the joint record for the most goals in a single Serie A season in the last 40 years?
In the last 40 years?
And both of them happened in the last 10 years. Which is very interesting. I love this as a question because no one guesses it.
Is Dzeko pot? No,
I can't put Dzeko. Although Dzeko is a top tier striker, and I love the fact that he's still firing.
Ibrahimovic?
Nope, neither. I'll say this: neither of the players are particularly popular. At least particularly popular on a global kind of football level. Oh,
they're not popular on the global. So thanks for that. Then now I can whittle my guesses down to.
I would describe them both as genuinely quite underrated players on a global stage. One is still playing now.
Is he over 30?
I believe he must be. If not, he's close to 30.
He's over 30. That would be what's his name? He plays for Napoli. Am I correct? He plays for Napoli?
No,
one plays for Napoli. Okay, one plays for Lazio then.
One does play for Lazio.
Yeah, that's the one. Immobile.
It is Immobile, yeah. He is one of them. Immobile. And the other one achieved it playing for Juventus.
And he doesn't play for Juventus anymore, correct?
He does not play for Juventus anymore. I don't think he's still playing. He might still be playing, but it's not at like a top tier level.
Okay, so Immobile, and he used to play for Juventus. This would be... No, Inzaghi played for AC Milan. Oh, are you kidding me? I've got so many names running through my mind. It's crazy, like a train track. So many names.
Just checking to see if he is still playing. Okay, he is not playing in Europe anymore.
Oh, interesting. It can't be Adriano, of course.
Again, both of them happened in the last 10 years.
Damn. Doesn't play. Oh, man. I know Immobile.
And I think the Immobile one is the older one of the two. As in, that happened for longer ago.
Okay.
I love this.
You'd have to let me know the other one.
Gonzalo Higuain.
Oh, you joking. I was...
No one guesses it that it's Higuain.
My life, he was the 6th name on my list. I was gonna go through names. Oh my days, he was the 6th. But that's
Immobile and Higuain hold the record. Yeah, Higuain, a criminally underrated player. And this is the thing, though. When I look at a lot of the players that play in Italy quite regularly, I tend to find they're underrated players. Or players that I feel are genuinely underrated. You look at Higuain, you look at Dzeko, for instance. You look at Tammy Abraham. All of these players that have done kind of similar roles. Even Perisic, for instance, another great example. He spent the majority of his career in Italy. But you look around a lot of them and you go, well, why haven't they ever had big moves? And I don't know why they haven't had big moves.
That's because the PR that the Premier League gets is amazing. I mean, the money, the backing the Premier League gets is crazy because a lot of Premier League fans don't watch any other league. Do you know what I'm saying? That's true. They wouldn't know this. But if Serie A had the backing, the sponsorship, the following, oh come on, all these players would be in people's bedrooms.
Half the teams in Italy aren't even on FIFA anymore. Half of them have signed contracts somewhere else. I don't even know if it's for PES or whatever it is. But half of them aren't even. If you go to play, they're called like Calcio A and things like that.
That's because they're selling their rights to like crypto companies and all that. because they just trying to make
That's mad. That's such a mad thing. There's a really bizarre story with Napoli as well, isn't there? That if you sign for them, you have to sign your film rights over, and you all appear in like film. You all because the guy who owns it's like a movie director or something like that.
Yes,
appear in films.
And it's been happening for years, to be fair. So
it's such a bizarre thing to see. But I just wanted to kind of touch on Serie A. You look at the top scorers at the moment. You've got Ciro Immobile and Vlahovic both on 21 goals each in around 30 games roughly played, which is huge. I think that's a huge kind of level to be on. Tammy Abraham is on 15. And Giovanni Simeone is on 16. Berardi again on 14. Not as good a season for Martinez, who's only on 14 this year. But then in assists, Berardi has 11. Berardi has 25 contributions.
Berardi shouldn't be playing Sassuolo.
No, I don't know what he's like a cult hero, though, isn't he? He's like a club cult hero.
Yeah, because he suits Juventus so much. It's crazy. Just watching him, you be like, this kid, he should be playing for Juventus. But
again, Nico Barella, one of my favourite players in world football right now, is on 9 assists as well. But we'll move forward as we haven't got too long left. I want to make sure we're covering as many of these topics as we can. And I've got a funny feeling that the United dash or keep is going to keep us in conversation for a while. Let's look at this. So dark horses for the World Cup, players that we think might. Or teams essentially we think might go further than a lot of people are expecting. Now, the last Euros, I called my two dark horses as Italy and Turkey. Right from the jump, I said Italy I definitely stand a good chance of winning it, and Turkey should be doing quite well. I don't think they'll win it, but they'll go quite far. Obviously, that didn't happen with Turkey. For some reason, they just completely capitulated, despite having a team of players that had all done very well. Like, a lot of their players had done well. A few of them played for Lille, I think it was, or Lyon, whoever it was that won the French league the year before. Their striker in there, right back, both played there. And I was so surprised at how bad Turkey did. But looking at the actual teams that have qualified, are there any that immediately stand out to you as teams that could well actually be go on to win it?
So with what's it called, with the World Cup, it's 8 groups, right? So in my opinion, I'll take it group by group. I would say in Group A, the team that actually I'm not being biased or anything here, but Senegal should easily qualify from that group.
I think Senegal should finish top of that group personally, because Netherlands aren't Netherlands should be way better than they are, but they're just not.
Yes, they're not. That's exactly
obviously,
because
unfortunately they have the situation with Louis van Gaal at the moment.
20 years, exactly, with the horrible news. But 20 years ago, I would never say Senegal has got a chance. Like, that's the truth. I mean, but we know how football works now in the Netherlands. And in Group B, England. No, because again, I'm not being biased, but we've got the players. There's
if
no
Scotland
way.
If Scotland qualify for the tournament, they should get out of that group.
Nah.
Because
no.
I'm a Scotland fan before an England fan, by the way, and always have been. So I'm not saying that in a biased direction, but I think in that group, the only team that are better than Scotland, having watched them play for the majority, having watched them play regularly for the last couple of years, especially, are England. That's the only team. I think Scotland, if they qualify, should be getting out of that group the same way that if Wales qualify, they should be getting out of that group.
Yeah, but people are forgetting this, though. USA, when they play in the World Cup, they always put on a show. I don't know why people keep ignoring USA. Who
have USA got in their squad at the moment? Because they go through periods of having like really interesting players.
They've got their.
Let me see if I can get that.
They've got Josh Sargent.
Yes.
They've got the Chelsea player. Pulisic. They've got like 3 other kids that are really
Kellen
good.
Acosta, who plays for LA. I'm just looking at players. Rayner, who plays for Dortmund.
Exactly. I was just going to say Rayner.
Timothy Weah, who plays for Lille.
Yes. And they've got really good players.
Jesus Ferreira is a decent little player as well.
Yeah, seriously, USA have got a very good squad in terms of when you look at what they do in Europe now. They've got a proper squad. So
DeAndre Yedlin is still playing for the USA.
Yes, yeah. Keeps giving them the pace. I mean, that's all he can offer, I guess. So hey, he's very pacey. So hey, that's
Anthony Robinson, who plays for Fulham. He starts by the looks of things. James Sands, who plays for Rangers as well. Yeah. Who else? Reggie Cannon. What great name that is. Who plays for Boa Vista. They've got a few players dotted around, but again, I don't think. They keep Zach Steffen as well. Obviously, he plays for City.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's enough quality in that team when you actually look at the quality in Scotland's team. Scotland have genuinely got a pretty decent World Cup team. Now, I'm going to get their squad up next. And I'll run through the players, and you get surprised at actually how good.
Remember this: you are talking from a view of, because you know some of the players. They even play in the Premier League. You've seen them play.
Yes.
I mean, people should focus on the. We'll see this at the end of the year. We'll be like, "Oh, I told you."
Don't get me wrong. Now I've said it. I don't think they'll actually get out of the group at all. But I think they should be. They definitely should be, considering the quality that's now in this team. Again, I was there when I think it was the Israel game. They scored in the last. I was going crazy. But
that was an amazing game.
I'm just going to try and find their squad. So their current squad: Craig Gordon in goal. Who is genuinely a very decent keeper. Very decent goalkeeper. You're looking at the players that stand out at the back. You've got Andrew Robertson, Grant Hanley, Kieran Tierney, Jack Hendry, as well, who's currently at Club Bruges. Don't know how that happened. Aaron Hickey, who's at Bologna, going through the defenders. And they've got Nathan Patterson as well, who's obviously a big sort of prospect for the future. You've then got in the middle, Scott McTominay. We'll leave that for the time being. John McGinn, Callum McGregor, Billy Gilmore, Stuart Armstrong from Southampton. Kenny McLean from Norwich as well. And then up front you've got a collection of decent players. Lyndon Dykes, obviously as a QPR fan you'll know all about Lyndon Dykes. Shay Adams, Ryan Christie, Jacob Brown and Ross Stewart at Sunderland. They've got a better squad than the USA.
Right. Okay. Now that you've read out, obviously I know the Scotland squad, but now that you've actually called them you've called them in, like, literally you took it from the goalkeeper to the defenders. They've got a better squad. They've got actually in depth. They've got a lot more depth than people. They've got more depth than USA. You're right. You're right.
And then they've also called up Liam Cooper from Leeds, and David Marshall from QPR as well is back in the squad.
Oh, serious?
Yeah.
Yes, go on, Scotland. See what they're doing.
Also, James Forrest from Celtic as well is back in the squad.
Oh yeah. Oh,
and
what
Turnbull. Turnbull's back in. Oh yeah, they've brought in a lot of Turnbull from Celtic. Wicked player. John Fleck's back in the squad. Which I'm not too sure about, but again, they've got a very solid squad.
But they have to play Wales, don't they?
They do play good football though, and it's not me being biased. I watch Scotland games. They play better football than United do. I'll tell you that right from the jump.
But I don't think they would beat Wales though, which is weird.
I do.
You see.
I do.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I do.
Listen, we have another Clark Kent that plays for Wales.
Yeah,
he comes in the name of Gareth Bale. Yeah, I mean.
I saw the game the other day though. It was outstanding. It was
outstanding.
So
I'm sorry, that guy is unbelievable. What if I was Real Madrid? I promise you, I would stop his flight. I'll be like, don't come back to the stadium. No, seriously, I'll be like, go home. You are taking a piss. Are you? What? No.
But yeah, moving forward. Group B, England. Looking like they'll be the ones that finish top of that group. Group C, Argentina and Poland. I would suggest the two teams likely to get out of that group. You then have either Austria, United Arab. What's EAU? Who is EAU?
Yeah,
I don't know who EAU is.
What? UAU.
I'm looking at this.
United Arab Emirates.
Is that United Arab Emirates? EAU?
Yeah. EAU.
That's very bizarre.
Ecuador. That should be Ecuador.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. That was very confusing. No, Ecuador are in Group A.
No, sorry, Ecuador in Group A. Yeah, I just clocked.
I genuinely, it's Australia or two other teams essentially. So I think one's Peru and the other one is EAU. So I don't know who off the top of my head, I don't know who EAU are.
I can't remember EAU too.
But in that group, you've got France and Denmark. They're the two that I'd probably still suggest would be going through.
Yes,
Denmark was semi-finalists last year for the Euros. Like they're a decent team, Denmark.
Yeah, if not because of the tragic stuff that happened, I promise you they would have gone far. Yeah, man, he's back. I read a meme which is horrible at the same time funny about Ericsson. Someone said it's so disrespectful that a man that died a couple of years ago stopped playing football. Now he's back to life. It's come to destroy Chelsea. I could not stop laughing. I was like, that is rude. That is crazy. But yeah, moving forward, Group E, Spain and Germany. You've also got Japan, New Zealand, and a couple more qualification teams. I think that's pretty much nail on the head. Spain and Germany get out of that group. It'll be very surprising if they don't. And then Group F. You've got Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia.
Again, you have to look at Belgium and Croatia. I think they're the two that.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop you right there. At the moment, the buzz the Canadians are feeling, I think Canada might sneak.
Is it? They've got Jonathan David and Davis.
Davis, yeah, and they've got like 4 other decent players. I can't remember the names again, but
I feel there's a fair few Canadian players in the German league. I feel that kind of come through youth academy stuff. Like there used to be a lot of American players in the German league as well. They still,
that's what they do. They just pluck them from the United States.
That's the route in, it's interesting. We'll see. We'll see on that one. Again, I haven't watched Canada enough to know.
Canada is decent.
So I don't know. But then Group G, Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, Cameroon. I can't call that. Brazil, you'd expect to.
Brazil and Cameroon will go through for me.
You reckon? Okay.
Who have
Cameroon got in the squad at the moment?
Cameroon have got what's they called? They've got their top striker right now. What's his name? That used to play for Porto. Are you kidding me? Can't remember his name now. It was the highest goal scorer during the African Cup of Nations.
Let me see if I'm going to bring up their name.
Abubakar.
Okay.
Abubakar. They've got the player that plays for Fulham. What's his name again? The midfielder. They've got decent players.
So I'm looking through their squad now. They've got Anana from Bordeaux.
Goalkeeper.
The keeper. Andre Onana in goal as well. 2 Onanas, that's pretty cool. They've got St Etienne's Makuda. I can't see a lot of players I recognise in this squad. You then have for Bayern Munich, they've got Choppy Motings in there as well. He's still in the squad. Akambi's in there from Lyon. That's a huge player. Anguissa from Napoli.
He's on loan to Napoli but plays for Fulham. And he's a very good player.
Pierre Koundé as well from Olympiacos. It's an interesting team. There's quite a few players in there that I don't.
The thing is, they come together and play as a team. And that's what's more scary. Why Brazil? It's more individuals, if you know what I mean. You're gonna have someone like Neymar trying to take the shine as usual, trying to skill and all that.
I think Brazil will be a better team without Neymar personally, and I've held that opinion for a long period of time.
1,000,000%.
But I reckon it might be the summer of Vinicius Junior, or the winter of Vinicius Junior on the kind of global stage. And then in Group H, you have Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and South Korea. It's between Uruguay and Ghana behind Portugal. I think Portugal should comfortably win that group.
Portugal should.
My dark horses for the whole thing. My dark horses for the whole thing are Portugal.
Is it for the whole tournament?
I think they have the best attack in world football by like a long, long way.
Oh yeah. Oh, this squad is too exciting. I'm sorry.
But then you look at the midfielders there as well.
It's a shock that they didn't perform for the Euros. I'm sorry.
I was so surprised. I'm just going to bring their squad up because I love looking at Portugal's squad.
They are too exciting. I'm sorry. Like when you look at the Portuguese squad.
So the only issue I think they have is at centre back because they've got. They've obviously got.
Diaz though.
Diaz. They've obviously got Diaz in the kind of middle, but then you who's injured at the moment, I think, but it will be back for the time the tournament comes around. In goal, you've got Rui Patricio and Jose Sarr, 2 players that are both performing pretty well. I think Jose Sarr might move in front of Patricio pretty soon. But again, look at the list of defenders. So Nuno Mendes from PSG, Pepe, Guerrero from Dortmund, Jose Font at Lille, Cancelo, Cedric Suarez from Arsenal, Diego Dalot from United, Inacial from Sporting CP, and Thiago Giallo from Lille. So again, you've got not the best list, but solid. There's a lot of solid players on that list.
Yes. I mean, if I had that squad, I would just play a 3-4-3. But carry on.
You've got the wing backs to do it there as well with Cancelo and Guerrero. You can really, really motor forward and just run. I'd probably run the back 3 of probably Pepe, Font, and Diaz.
Yeah, that's what it is. 3-4-3.
But then we get into the middle of the park, which is where it gets very interesting. You've got Vitinha from Porto. You've then got this is where it gets really exciting. João Moutinho at Wolves, Bernardo Silva at City, Bruno Fernandes at United, Danilo Pereira from PSG, William Carvalho at Betis, Otavio from Porto, and Nunes from Sporting CP. Again, what's the name of the? I've forgotten his name. The player who used to play. He plays at Lille now, I think.
I know what you're talking about.
And he was at Bayern. He was at
What's
Fulham
his
as well.
name?
Renato Sanchez, that's the one.
Renato Sanchez.
It's saying here that he is now back in the squad. Also, they've got Ricardo Pereira as well, who's been out been out injured in defence.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with you. They're the dark horses.
But then you get to the strikers. This is where I look at it and go, "Oh my word, this is ridiculous." That's without Ruben Neves, that midfield as well, who is top.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But you look at the attackers they've got. So you've got João Felix, Diogo Jota. Gonzalo Guedes. You've got Leo from Milan, Andre Silva, Cristiano Ronaldo, and then on top of that, you've also got Trincao and Rafa Silva as well.
That's crazy. No, seriously. When you think about
the best attacking lineup in world football, I don't think anyone comes close.
There's a player that plays for Wolves. It's not Podence. There's someone that plays for Wolves.
Semedo's back in the squad as well, but he's still out injured.
He's still out injured. I think is it Podence? No, I need to check it. It's Podence.
It might be Podence.
I might be wrong or right. I just know that Portugal. The squad is crazy. Yes, Podence. How is it not? Come the World Cup, he would be there. What a player!
But that's the thing. Do you reckon he would be in there ahead of the attackers that are in there? You've got Ronaldo, who's not getting taken out. Silva, Guedes, Jota, Felix, and Trincao. Do you reckon he's ahead of all of those?
I think based on performance and ability, I would pick him over what's his name? The last striker you called.
Trincao.
Not Trincao. When you listed it, Trincao was second to last. What's the last? There was someone else. The last.
Leao, Guedes, Silva, Jota, Felix.
Guedes. I'll pick him over Guedes. The only reason is because he's just the perfect inside forward. He's the perfect inside forward. I mean, sorry. The way he cuts in and out, and it's too exciting to be left out. No way. I'm picking him over. Yeah.
Do you have an overall dark horse? A team that you think are are likely to shake a few people up, looking around all the teams?
To be fair, for me personally, I would say I can't pick Belgium anymore because it's just that was the team I was going to go for.
I think the time's done for Belgium. I think they had their up and they didn't use it.
Yeah, it's done. It's done for them. Do I have a dark horse?
I'd say Spain could be dark horses.
No, because they're in the conversation anyway. So it's like
I don't think they're in the conversation. I don't think they're in.
When you talk about teams likely to win the World Cup, Spain would always come up. If you know what I mean.
I not over the last sort of. It was only in the Euros where they started to suddenly look like they were playing well again.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I think they didn't qualify for one. They went out in the group stages 2 times in a row. Like they haven't been a good international team for a while.
Yeah, no, they haven't, but they will always be in the conversation.
Okay.
Like if you go to the betting shop now, the odds would be France, Spain, Germany, England. Like they're always in that conversation.
It definitely feels like there's a bit of a fall away of South American football in this scenario as well. It definitely feels like that because you used to have like. It used to be Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, Colombia. They were all sort of areas, and now it's just like Brazil will go far, but they're probably not going to win it.
It's now probably an European. Like, let's be honest, a European team has won it in the last
2002 was the last time a team outside of Europe won it.
Yes, so the dominance is obvious. So it's. But for me, my dark horse, I would definitely be going for. Serbia.
Okay.
Yeah, Serbia have got a very good technical team.
It's interesting. I'm not mad at Serbia. The thing is, when you look at a lot of Serbian players that come out, they do, as you said, they are very technically astute. They play neat football a lot of the time.
Yes. Oh man, just watching sometimes you just be like, what? Really? What? They should be doing better than this. I mean, no, Serbia for me. Serbia would.
Well, there we go. We are going to get into the final part of the show now then, as we've only got around 6 minutes left. So I want to run through this quickly. This is going to be quick fire, and we're going to go through it as quickly as we can. The game is keep or dash, and we are going to run through. And whether it's dash, it means whether you sell them, whether you cancel the contract, whether they go out on loan. Basically, not players you want to see in the squad next season at Manchester United. So here we go. Dean Henderson.
Keep.
I would also say keep. Tom Heaton.
Dash,
I would agree. Dash. Lee Grant.
Dash.
I'd say keep. I think you need 3 keepers. And David De Gea.
Oh yeah, of course keep.
and I would also say keep. So I'd say they were my 3. Unless you bring a youth keeper through, but whatever. Right, let's go into the defenders. Victor Lindelof, keep or dash? I'm going keep with Victor Lindelof.
No, it has to be keep, to be honest. I don't know, I just like him. Keep.
Eric Bailly, keep. Yeah. Phil Jones. It's dash. Unfortunately, Phil Jones, it is dash. It is dash. I feel sorry for you, but it is dash. Harry Maguire. I think we're both going to be pretty universal on this. Dash. I think he's had his.
That was a quick dash. So
he's gone. Raphael Varane.
Oh no, dash. I'm sorry, dash. I could be on Varane for the longest. Is dash.
You're dashing Varane.
I would dash Varane. I love the fact that Real Madrid showed the world something everyone ignored. Man United ignored because we were so in a bad state that it was a panic buy. Varane has really dipped in the last 4 years.
I don't know, I think he's been the best defender at the club by an absolute country mile. I think having to play next to Maguire makes him. It's very rarely his issue. I think him and Lindelof is currently the best partnership we've got.
I sort of agree, but Real Madrid saw it, and when you know what, you gotta go. Because let's be honest, 5-6 years ago, buy Varane for that amount? Hell no. Yeah, Real Madrid would never.
I mean, there was contract issues as well. He wanted a pay rise. They didn't want to give it to him. So it was contract coming to a close.
Let's be honest. If Mo Salah was in Real Madrid right now and in his current form, whatever contract he's asking for, they'll give it to him. That's what happens when you're a good player. A club would try everything to keep you. Varane, no, dash. He's not improved.
I feel that's true at any club apart from Manchester United. To be honest.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, Diogo Dalot. I'm going to say dash for Diogo Dalot.
For me, Diogo Dalot, I would say keep. I'll tell you why I want him in the club. I feel like Diogo Dalot just needs a running of games. Like, he needs to be spoken to that, yo, this season, you're going to be in the first team. That's what I feel. Like, he needs that talk.
I think he needs a manager who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think he still plays like a 17-year-old, personally. I don't think he's 21, 22 now. I don't think he's developed in any... And again, that was Jose's last buy for the club. I think there is such potential there, but I don't think it's going to be realised at United. I think he'll go Spain or he'll go to Italy and he'll become the next Hakimi. That's what I think.
He suits the German league, to be honest.
He would suit the German league. Luke Shaw, it's a straight keep for me. I very much like Luke Shaw.
100%. I don't know what people are talking about keep.
Alex Telles, dash. I think he's terrible.
Who?
Alex Telles.
Oh, Telles, the left back.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm keeping him.
I think he's terrible. I really don't see it. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, keep or dash?
Oh.
I'm saying keep for one particular reason.
Keep. I do. Oh, yeah, go on. Say your reason.
The particular reason is if we are at a point where we, for instance, are down 10 men and we need to hold on to a lead, there is not a player I would trust to keep a player out of the game more than Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
I don't care what anyone says. He's got the best interception in the Premier League. He intercepts in a crazy way. It could be his big toe that pokes the ball away.
He just finds a way. Yeah. He finds a way. Right, we need to hurry up with these because we've only got a few minutes left. So we're going to get to these. Brandon Williams, dash.
Dash.
Axel Tuanzebe, dash.
Dash, yeah, dash.
Tendon Mengi, keep.
From what I've seen lately, I would say keep. Just for one more season, keep, yeah.
Okay, going through. Paul Pogba, keep by all means possible for me.
Dash for me.
Okay. Juan Mata, dash.
Dash, yeah.
Jesse Lingard, dash.
Dash, 1,000,000%.
I didn't even realise the next player was still on the books. Andreas Pereira, dash as quick as possible.
He's been sold anyway, but I don't know why they've not updated it. But yeah.
Amad Diallo, keep.
Oh, keep, 1,000,000%. Keep.
Fred, keep.
Keep, yeah.
Bruno Fernandes, keep.
Keep. Oh,
Facundo Palestri, keep.
Yeah, definitely.
Nemanja Matic, keep. The best CDM at the club, bro. Come on, he's the best CDM at the club.
Keep. Yeah.
Donny van der Beek, dash.
Oh yeah, 1,000,000%. That's not even a question.
James Garner, dash.
1 million.
Dash.
Shouldn't be there. Dash. Well, yeah.
Dash. He's going to be the next McTominay, and I don't want another McTominay. The next player is Scott McTominay. Dash at the first available opportunity. And Hannibal Mejbri.
Oh, keep. Whoa, keep. What a player.
Right, into the attackers next, and we've got a minute to get through these, so we're going to go quickly. Go. Cristiano Ronaldo, keep or dash? Keep. Anthony Martial, keep.
1 million. Keep.
Marcus Rashford, keep.
Dash.
With warning.
Dash.
Edison Cavani, dash as quickly as possible.
Yes, dash.
Jadon Sancho, keep or dash?
Keep.
Anthony Elanga, keep or dash? I'm going to say dash.
Oh, wow.
because I think the same thing's going to happen to him that's happened to Rashford. I think he's going to get overhyped, and the exact same scenario is going to happen.
That's what happens in England. That's what they do.
I have such an issue with youth system bias. I have such an issue with it. Right, Tahith Chong, keep or dash? I'm going to say dash.
Keep.
And Shola Surety.
Yes, keep. 1,000,000%.
And there we go. We've run through the entire thing, and we've nearly run out of time. So we are going to round off there, just within the time limit. We've just about got there. Banks, it's been an absolute pleasure doing this one today. Thanks for. I say thanks. We're doing it together. So big up you.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Yeah, man. More to come. More to come.
Plenty more to come. Right, people. You are locked into Trickstar Radio this morning, and you are also locked into CubCamTV. Make sure you check out the video for this as well on CubCamTV. We'll leave a link to Banks's channel in there. We are live on Trickstar Radio, however, and we're about to jump into today's edition of Fresh Friday. So keep it locked and don't go anywhere. We out.
Sounding so good right now. But they're sounding a bright and town.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, CubCamTV. Stay locked.